Anandana Shalakaya Chakshurun Meditamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so let me share my screen. So just to give a background that we are in the last chapter of Madhurya Kādambini. We started with Shraddha. The devotee is progressing through various stages of bhakti. The first chapter we discussed about bhakti, and then next chapter we discussed about Shraddha, then Sadhasanga, Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti, Anishtita Bhakti, then steady Bhakti, Nishtha, then Ruchi, taste, then Asakti, devotee has progressed to Asakti, or the Bhakti creeper has grown. And then the Bhakti creeper attained the state of Bhava, which is a glimpse of love of God. And now the Prema, the stage is being described here. So Prema is a very elevated stage.
Prabhuji, your voice is a little low. Could you please increase volume, Prabhuji?
Okay. Is okay now?
Little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the Prema stage is very elevated, and it is very difficult to be defined also. That is why at the end of Brigad Bhagavatamrita first volume, Parikshit Maharaj says to Uttara, after defining all the qualities of Prema, Uttara asks further question. And Parikshit Maharaj says that it cannot be explained beyond this point. You would have to relish that yourself. And there are descriptions of Prema even in the second volume of Brigad Bhagavatamrita. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also will try to express this Prema in a poetic way for us to get a glimpse of it. But of course, it is beyond our capacity to understand at this point. But we will just follow after Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to go through to see what he is trying to say. Yugapadeva swa adharam shishirayati. So previously it is mentioned that this Prema arises like a sun and then burns up the person. And then, okay, I'm looking here. Burns the person up. And at the same time, it is also like a cool moon, and it cools down the person. And both of these things happen simultaneously on the body of the Prem Bhakta. Adbhutaka ayam prema udityacha. So this Prema is very wonderful in that sense. And then it arises. Yasmin Ishad eva vardhamane bhagavat sakshatkaram eva pratikshanam akangshataka bhaktasya utkantha shalyasya mahadhakasya iva atiprabalya udayat spurti prapta tadrupa leela madhuryahi api atriptasya. So when this Prema grows slightly within the heart of this person, what happens? He wants to see the Lord every moment. Bhagavat Sakshatkaram. Directly he wants to see the Lord. Every moment, pratikshanam. He's looking forward for that. And that eagerness arises within the devotee to see the Lord every moment. And that eagerness is like a great fire. It burns up the person. Because of the great fire of that eagerness, what happens? A spurti appears. The difference between spurti and sakshatkara is directly you are seeing the Lord externally. Spurti is internal manifestation of the Lord. So the spurti happens within the devotee of the Lord. And in that spurti also, he is able to witness the form of the Lord. He is able to witness the lila, pastimes of the Lord, his sweetness. He is able to do that. But still, this devotee is not satisfied with that because he's looking for direct vision of the Lord. Bhagavat sakshatkara. Atruptasya. Tasya bhandavaha api nirudaka andakupaha eva. Then at this point, for this devotee, all his relatives become like a well, a dark well, which does not have any water. Nobody goes to the dark well which does not have any water, right? Nirudaka andakupaha eva. So he does not have any single interest. Bhavanam api kantakavanam eva. His home becomes like a forest of thorns. Every moment he stays there, it's pricking him all the time. He's not able to stay there. Yad kinchana abhyavaharaha api praharaha mahaneva. Every morsel of the food he's eating, it is like it is punching him left and right. He loses interest in even food, eating also. Sajjana krita prasangsha api sarpa dangsha. And then the sajjanas, the devotees, come and glorify him. Oh, he has attained such a nice state. But even that, also, he feels like snake bites. Snake is continuously, biting him. He doesn't like that also. Pratyahika kritya kartavyam api martavyam eva. The daily duties that you have to perform, that becomes like a death for this person. Martavyam eva. Anga pratyangani api mahabharaha eva. His whole limbs of the body becomes like a great burden for this person. Suhrud gana santvanam api visha drishtaha eva. Then the friends come and appease him. This guy has gone mad. We should console him. When they try to appease him, he feels like the poison is taking a glance upon this person. Basically, somebody is throwing poison on top of this person. Sada jagraha api sagaraha anutapasya eva. Wakefulness is throughout the day he is awake. But that becomes like a ocean of misery. He doesn't like it. Kadachit nidra api vidravini jivanasya eva. But how about sleep? The sleep, he feels the life is flowing away. That is, he is meeting death personified. It feels like that. Swa vigraha api bhagavat nigraha murtaha eva. His own body, his own form becomes like a punishment of the Lord. Why he has given this body. Right? Pranaha api dhanaga punaga brashtaha eva. His prana, the life years, he feels like they are roasted grains, useless. Nothing is going to give any value to him. Kim Bhaguna, what else to say? Prag satayev abhishtam asid yat tatucha rakaha maha upadravaha eva. So previously what he desired for so much for this prema, that prema now it becomes like a great calamity in solitary, alone. He's suffering in that. Bhagavat chintanameva atma nikruntanameva. The thinking of the Lord also becomes very painful for this person, or chopping off his own body, or atma, tearing up his body, even thinking of the Lord. Why? Because he's eagerly looking forward for the Sakshatkara of Bhagavan. See, all these things, a person undergoing misery in this world because of the tamasic and rajasic gunas may also feel these things, but that is completely different. This person's whole eagerness is for meeting the Lord. And again, these things are explained. We should not mistake it to see the devotee is actually suffering. Oh, previously he liked to get Prema. Once he got the Prema, he doesn't like it anymore. No, his eagerness of the Bhagavan is shown here. But it is all a state of bliss. Because at that point of Prema, he does not have a single touch with the material moods of nature. He's completely free from that. He's completely liberated. I think there's some noise coming in. Thank you, Prabhu. So, in that liberated state, there is nothing but the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord is touching him all the time. So he should be in very blissful state. But even that blissful state, the most blissful state, the condensed bliss, he's not liking it because he's looking for meeting the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Tata cha prema eva chumbaki bhava mahapadya Kṛṣṇasya si bhutam Krishnam akrishna aniya kashminchana kshane bhaktasya asya nayana gochari karoti. Then at that time, what happens? His prema, the love, it takes the form of a chumbaka, which is magnet. Chumba means kissing, but the magnet, what it does, it attracts the iron. It's like a kissing kind of a thing. So it takes the form of a magnet. Then it goes and attracts the dark iron called Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is, he's dark personified. So he's like a dark iron. So this magnet goes and attracts that iron. And then it brings to this person for some time, for some moment, it shows in front of this person. Nayana gochari karoti. In his eyes, it's making him visible directly. Tatracha saundarya saurabhya sauswarya saukmarya saurasya audarya karunyani iti sviya swarupa bhutaha parama kalyana gunaha bhagavata swabhaktasya tasya nayanadishu indriyeshu nidhiyante. So the Lord's beautiful form, saundarya, saurabhya, he also has a beautiful fragrance, very sweet fragrance that comes out of the Lord. Sauswarya, he is also having a very sweet voice. Saukumarya, his touch is very sweet. The Lord touches you, you feel great bliss. Saurasya, his taste is also, one can, if the person is in the Madhurya rasa, so we are talking about that. So the taste of the Lord is also very sweet. Audarya, Karunyani, his magnanimous, his Karunya, his compassion, all these qualities, Swarupa Bhuta, his own qualities. Parama Kalyana Gunaha, it is the most auspicious qualities. And what he does, the Lord takes all these qualities and he puts into the different senses of the devotees. The senses are like receptacles. So you fill the senses with all these qualities. That means the devotee is able to perceive all these different qualities at that point, stage of prema. Tesham cha parama madhuratve nitya navatve cha bhaktasya asya cha tad aswadayituhu premna eva pravartamane pratikshana vardishnau mahavutkantayam cha kaha api ananda mahodadihi avirbhavan na arhati kavi saraswati lakutya parame yatam. So at that point, this person is experiencing a great sweetness of the Lord, and which is also every moment it is becoming fresh and fresh. It is not like, I watched a movie and the next time I watch it, it just gets bored. No, it is like you look at the Lord, every moment it is so fresh. So when we compare the Lord, sometimes we say in the poetic expression that the Lord's face is like a moon and Lord's color is like the cloud coming in the monsoon time. But that's only for comparison. But actually the Lord's color is ever fresh. Even though it is blue, it's a different kind of blue. It's a different kind of color in the sense that every moment you look at that color, the color looks fresh and fresh, that it has not been seen previously. It looks like that because the spiritual qualities are like that. It's ever fresh, never gets bored. It's newer and newer every moment. So all these qualities of the Lord are also very new every moment, ever fresh. That's why in this world, when we are staying here, we get easily bored because the Atma, which is spiritual in nature, it is always looking for new because that is its own birth quality. It always looks for a new. That's why we use something, we get bored, throw it away. iPhone 12, throw it away. iPhone 13, iPhone 14. We want just continuously new things after new things. Because we want ever freshness, we are looking for that. But that is present in the spiritual world with the Supreme Lord, with Kṛṣṇa. So we are actually looking for Kṛṣṇa. So that newness, Kṛṣṇa takes it as and then makes his devotee taste it. And because of this Prema, what happens? The great eagerness, he wanted to meet the Lord. That is also growing every moment. Even though the Lord is standing in front of him, Kṛṣṇa is standing in front of him, he wants to meet Kṛṣṇa every moment. It is increasing again and again. He's not completely satisfied also. He wants to see, again and again, and it is not constant, it is increasing. And then at that eagerness, somebody is taking an ocean of bliss and then pouring into that eagerness. You get that eagerness itself, which was previously like a misery, the devotee was feeling. It was like an ocean of bliss because Kṛṣṇa is present in front of him. That increasing eagerness becomes so blissful. Think about it, you're standing in front of the Pacific Ocean and you're looking at the vast Pacific Ocean standing on the shore. So huge. You take up all this ocean and then put on top of yourself. That is, you drown in that. And that ocean, if it is like bliss, ananda, then it is like that. It's uncomparable. So what he says at the end, Na arhati kavi saraswati lakutya parimeyatam. This cannot be measured by even the great poet which has been blessed by Saraswati. It's very difficult to describe. He is only hinting at that. Yatha, he gives some examples. Ati nividatara vitapa dalakula pravalita mahanyagroda talasya suradhirgikha hima salila sambrita ghata shata valayita tatasya ati shishiratve tad ashrayituhu janasya cha taparatu tarani kirana tapta marush sarani mahapantatve cha. So he gives an example for us to make understand what's happening here. Let's say you are walking in a great desert, Sahara Desert or Thar Desert in India. There is no water around. You are in the middle of this afternoon and you are walking for so long, days after days without any water in that hot, scorching sun. And in the sand under your feet is also scorching. And the top of your head is also scorching. Everywhere you're just getting heated up. And you're just walking that great route. After walking for days after days, you go to a place where a big banyan tree is there. And that banyan tree is full of thick foliages. Everything is nicely covered. Go under that. So cool fragrance is coming out in that state. And then somebody has kept pots and pots of ice cold water taken directly from Ganga, very pure, spiritually and materially speaking. What would happen? Just take everything and then pour on top of you. It is like that. Just to give an example. Tatha Kādambini Ghana Ashrayasya Aparatva Iva Tad Abhishicyamanasya Vana Matanga Jasya Chirantana Dava Davatu Dunatve Tata Sudha Kiranasya Ati Madhuratve Tatpana Kartuhu Cha Maharoga Shatatve Swada Lolupatve Cha Yaha Tadatmika Anandaha Sahayeva Digdarshanartam Tasya Upamani Kriyate. The another example he gives is a elephant. When the elephant is roaming around in the forest, suddenly a fire starts, forest fire, due to the friction of bamboos. And then it's burning everywhere all around that elephant. It quickly spreads around because of the dry leaves in the forest. And then the elephant gets stuck in that for so long, it is just getting burnt all around. And then at that moment, suddenly a group of clouds come and then they pour a lot of cold water on top of that elephant and all around the forest. How it would feel. It is like that. And here he says that kind of bliss is what is being expressed here. And also it's a Digdarshana. He is only showing the direction. That means he is just saying, just giving a glance, just giving a glimpse of that. He's not able to explain everything fully because one has to experience it. One cannot express everything through words.
So, Brajan Prabhuji, before we proceed,
Yes.
when we are taking question and answer?
So there is no question and answer.
No questions, okay.
So, but if somebody has questions, you can ask. Yeah, I will stop here actually.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay. Rohin Dulal Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu.
No.
Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains the 14 stages of perfection, right? So after Prema, also he explains 2 stages. One is actually meeting the Lord, and also after that releasing the meeting with the Lord in the activities. So in the Prema stage, you were mentioning about those 2 things, like constantly looking for the Lord, constantly waiting for the Lord, and also eagerness to release it. So those 2 are present as a requirements, as a need for the soul at that point of time, or he's actually releasing at the Prema stage. I was just trying to distinguish the stages versus aspiration.
Okay. So in the stage of Prema, see, after the stage of Ruchi, things start becoming spontaneous. There is no aspiration in that sense that, I need to attain certain qualities. It becomes more like a spontaneous thing. It goes on beyond that point. In the stage of Prema, when he is having the eagerness and he wants to meet the Lord, this is a spontaneous manifestation of the Prema that he has within his heart. So in the stage of Bhava, you have Bhava, which means you have a certain relationship with the Lord that is manifested within your heart. And when that is combined with other factors which form rasa, you express that Prema in different ways. So this is one of the expression of that Prema, what is there in his heart, that it comes out naturally, eagerness for looking for the Lord. That is why Rupa Goswami, when describing the 6 qualities of bhakti in Nectar of Devotion, the final 2 qualities he says is Kṛṣṇa Karshaniya, Kṛṣṇa Karshana, Akarshana, that is attraction of Kṛṣṇa. Prema, by its nature itself, it goes and pulls down because of the eagerness of the devotee. So if one wants to see the Lord, one has to go to the stage of Prema because the eagerness has to grow that much. Only then the Supreme Lord is showing up. But it is part of Prema itself. It is not a separate stage. It is the nature of Prema. And Vishwanath Chakravarti, I don't know where he says 14 stages after.
So I was recently hearing this Bhakti Vaibhav class. So
Okay.
Gaurav was saying that there are 14 stages, and he was explaining for the second chapter, first canto, while he was explaining that Bhakti is the supreme.
Yeah. So there are stages he defines earlier, like he meets he gets the mercy of the devotee, and by that mercy he serves the devotee, and then again he gets Shraddha, and then because of that he goes and takes shelter of the devotee. He adds stages there, but he stops at Prema as far as I remember. But even beyond the Prema, there are stages like Man, Pranaya, and it goes until the stage of Mahabhava. But those stages are usually not experienced in the body of, when the devotee is having material body. He has to go to the spiritual world to experience the higher stages. So usually those stages are not explained. Even in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, when Rupa Goswami explains that in very summary, he says, because the devotee is not going to experience in this world, so I'm just giving in summary. But he explains that in greater detail in Ujjwala Nilamani. But in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is a manual usually for the sadhakas, that's not explained. He just gives a one-line statement and then he moves on.
Right. Yeah, so 13 and 14 were explained as actually meeting the Lord, and also 14th is like relishing the pastimes.
Which is part of Prema itself, because the Prema...
that's what I was wondering, because the explanation says that way. Is it eagerness to attain those stages, or is it actually attaining those stages is present within Prema itself? Within
Prema itself. Maybe, you can divide in the sense that the eagerness is there, then at one point, like he is meeting, you can further subdivide, but it is part of Prema only if you combine everything. Yeah. It happens in the stage of Prema. Usually, I have not seen a...
Actually, he was quoting Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, so I was wondering this will come.
Maybe we should. I should take a look at it. Maybe I can come back to you.
Sure, yeah. Sorry, bro. Sorry for that.
No problem. Okay. Anything else before we start?
So, can I ask a question? Okay. So, Prabhuji, we are continuing till you finish, or?
Yeah, feel free to drop off. Usually I tell the devotees after 8 o'clock, you just, anybody can drop off. And if somebody has questions, I can just answer.
Okay. No, means till what time we are taking?
Just 5 minutes or so, if devotees.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, advance pranam.
Advance pranam.
Prabhuji, I listened to a class that speaker didn't speak much about it, but briefly I heard about it. Like in Krishna consciousness, we do not have the concept like I am the body, I and mine are completely, it should be avoided. But when it comes to Krishna Bhakti, it's strongly recommended, like Kṛṣṇa is mine, I am his property. Is there anywhere mentioned in Madhurya Kādambini about this concept, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we looked at in the stage of bhava that you possess the mamatva and ahantva. See, in this world, when we are here, that possessiveness of myself and I is directed toward the material body and whatever is related to the material body. Ahamta, that is I-ness. I identify with this body. When I say I immediately think of my body, my face, my hands and everything. That is the ahanta I have here in this material body. And mamata, mind, that is everything related to the body. My wife, my child, my car, my house, my friends, my work. Everything is surrounded with the body. But in the stage of bhava, this changes. It changes throughout the bhakti, but in the stage of bhava, it is visible, completely changed to Kṛṣṇa. So you identify yourself as a servant of Kṛṣṇa. Servant in the sense that you are there to give pleasure to Kṛṣṇa. And mamata, possessiveness of Kṛṣṇa, that he is mine, that also happens in the stage of bhava. It increases throughout the bhakti process. At that stage, you feel ahamta and mamata completely transformed into spiritual.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And what is mean by Kādambini?
Kādambini is a group of clouds. Madhurya Kādambini is sweet group of clouds. So this refers to, in the beginning of the first chapter, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this refers to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is like a sweet group of clouds, the clouds which shower nectar, not simple rain, showers nectar upon the people of this world. So that is Madhurya Kādambini.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, if you allow, can I ask one question?
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for such a wonderful class, and it's really nectar to hear about this detail. So my question
you
is,
have been missing this.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yesterday we had a talk.
Yeah. I'm inspired to hear his.
That Satyendra Prabhu is here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'm saying the result of that talk is that Satyendra Prabhu is here. I'm asking you.
Oh, what you are asking?
I'm saying, is it the result of that talk yesterday? You had that?
Oh no, Prabhuji. he called me and he said, Prabhu, I want to take up the morning call service. Oh, Jai. You are back on track.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, my question is, we read about the bhavas, right? When Premi devotee experiences.
Right.
And we saw like many upper sampradayas, like Aul Vaul also, they try to exhibit this kind of bhavas. And you mentioned about Mahabhav and other bhavas, those are not experienced by this material body, right? But still we see some upper sampradayas, like they try to exhibit this kind of bhava. So what they are experiencing is, what is their experience if they are feeling like that? So how they are getting that experience?
Yeah. There are two things. One is that abhas that is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu itself. There are two kinds of abhas, chaya and pratibimba. Basically, the bhava, the actual bhava is in particular devotee. That gets reflected in the people. Sometimes we go to, let's say, sadhu sangha, or we are with a great devotee, right? Sometimes we feel that ourselves also, oh, my love toward Kṛṣṇa has increased so much, right? Compared to the other days. But once that event, or let's say Janmashtami is coming, and you are absorbed in, reading the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa, suddenly you get that elevated feeling of attraction toward Kṛṣṇa. So all these factors are showing you some kind of attraction toward Kṛṣṇa. That is a reflection of the bhava. The bhava is there in this devotees, but it gets reflected within us. So, and why is it called abhas? Because it doesn't stay. Next day, I'm just, I'm doing my own thing. It's not like I'm going to give up everything in this world. I'm just going to pursue that. No, it just appears and then it disappears. That's why it's called abhas, that for some time it stays and it's just a reflection of something else. But sometimes people can also cheat others who are taking it as a, way of living. That's what we call the apasampradayas. Some of the apasampradayas, they may just cheat. Oh, I have this attraction to Kṛṣṇa, I have to Radha, and show off the ecstasies in front of people so that the people will throw money. In Vrindavan, sometimes you would see that some people will give a lecture. There are so many courses in Vrindavan where you can take to see how to sweetly narrate the Bhagavatam, so that you can attract people. Courses like that. So, they may sweetly describe it, but at the end of the thing, they will go on to smoke cigarette, ganja, whatever it is. And they don't have attraction. But when they describe it, people throw money, oh, this guy has described it very nicely, like that. So as a way of living, they may just use a tactic to cheat around people, which is just nothing but vidambana, just a cheating process. But sometimes, because of the reflection, it may really happen also. Some aspiring sadhakas, even though they may not be in the bhava or prema stage, they may be in the anartha nivritti also. You can just get that elevated feeling, you can get that elevated attraction, glimpse of that. But that is genuine. Sometimes you feel like, oh, crying for Krishna, crying for the holy name, right? These are all symptoms of bhava, but it appears a little bit in the devotee. That is abhas, reflection, dim reflection that appears. Just as when the sun rises, before the actual sun rises in the morning, some dim, light comes out everywhere. It looks a little bit, you are able to see things. So that is an indication that sun is going to rise soon. So that is a good thing. The vidambana, the cheating one, is not good. The actual abhas is good. One devotee can actually pursue that, and then eventually the sun will arise.
Okay. So, Prabhuji, what I understand from this, although upper sampradayas, they are imitating the bhavas, right? But still they will not get until they become sadhakas. That's what you mean to say, Prabhuji?
Yeah, I mean, if they are seriously following, or if they are just intention is to cheat, they can exhibit, I can also cry in front of everyone. All I have to do is become a good actor. The actors do that in the cinema, right? They just cry, they exhibit different emotions with the normal material people only. So you can do that with Krishna also, but that is cheating. But if they are really a genuine devotee in the sense of sadhaka, trying bhakti, then this can also happen, which is genuine, which is abhas.
Sure. Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. We'll stop here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shankaran Prabhu.
Thank you very much for giving.